Just wait for the flame to dissipate, then use your grappling hook to get up to the top here. Take out this thing, but be careful since it leaves that flame for a few seconds. Then wait as the fire circles around before jumping onto that platform and making your way over to the next one. Just wait for the fire and then move your way up to the next platform. You may want to wait for that robot that drops the bombs to go overhead to the left side of the screen before making your attempt upward. Now here you're not going to want to take too much time, though there is an extra life if you want to risk it and move your way quickly before the spikes fall down and crush you. Thankfully there is a full health jar sitting there waiting for you before we get to probably what's the hardest boss of the game. Now this commander is rather a pain as he uses his gun to hit you as he moves back and forth. The real strategy is waiting for him to point his gun upwards at you, and then quickly, immediately, as soon as you know he's ready to move that gun upwards, drop down and deliver your hits, and then quickly get back to the ceiling before he starts heading towards you with his gunfire. If you get the pattern down correctly, you should be able to take almost no damage from it, but it may take a try or two to get this timing down of waiting for him to point upwards with that gun. Since we did have full health, you may think of just running into this boss battle and trying to attack him as many times as possible, and trying to beat him before he ends up beating you, but unfortunately, he's most likely going to be able to do more damage to you than you will to him, even when you walk into the stage with full health at the beginning. The ninjas at the beginning of stage 4 are really easy to dodge since they fire one ninja star at you straight, and then jump up to the ceiling, allowing you to pass underneath of them and continue on in the stage. In this part we have a few more of the ninjas that are going to throw the shurikens at us, and then jump up, wait for the shield guy to retract his shield, and then that's when you're going to get your opportunity to attack him again. Thankfully, those guys move so slow they're really almost no threat to us at all. After a few more steps though, as you can see, the lights do go out, and we actually can see them flicker. The lasers are our biggest threat here. As you can see though, thankfully, you can go underneath the platforms, or what we may have to do in a second, go above the platform in order to avoid the laser as it travels across the room. Since we don't have too much space between us and the ceiling here, you may want to take out these ninjas before moving on this time. When we get here, wait a few seconds and the ground underneath of us will be removed, and we'll get to fall to the next part. After a rather large fall, we get an extra item as well as plenty of health before we continue on. When we get here, fire starts coming up from the ground, so we have to be very quick moving up these platforms. For the most part, just avoid anything that's on the platform, including the robots and the little electrical fields. However, when you're getting here, wait for the laser to pass overhead, and then quickly jump up to the platform and make your way over safely, so you end up not taking any damage from that laser. When we reach the top and the end of the area, it's time for our next boss battle of the game. Since this enemy likes to float around the top and not come down at us right away, this is a good opportunity to use some of your flame wheels that you've been building up throughout each stage. This boss homes in on you when he comes down to the ground, so just quickly move out of the way from him, and when he lands, start delivering hits. He then will throw his fan over top of you, so duck underneath, and when it comes back, it's below you, so you're going to have to make a quick jump. His only other thing is that he will throw shurikens at you, but thankfully they move in a pretty predictable pattern, and you'll be able to get in between each of the 2 sets he throws before he ends up landing again in order to give him a lot of good damage. So here begins Stage 5, the final stage of the game. These flamethrower enemies are some of the most annoying in the game, because you only have a split second or so in order to get in on them and deliver the hit to destroy them. So basically it comes down to timing to know exactly when that flame is going to be retracted, make your jump and lunge while the flame is still out, so by the time you're landing and hitting him, the flame has just gone away. Since I did use all my flame wheels against the previous boss, I might as well pick up some extra ones so that I have some in case I need them during this level. These little jumping robots are almost no threat. They will jump up and throw grenades, but for the most part, before they can even get a grenade out of their hand, they're usually already destroyed. When we reach over here, we start to see lasers coming at us for the first time. You can destroy easily the laser that's on the wall, however, if you're stuck behind one of these moving very slowly shield enemies, you may have to duck underneath or jump over a few of the lasers before you're finally able to get in close enough to destroy it. For this enemy, wait for him to come to you, then drop down off the ceiling to take him out. He's one of those flamethrower enemies, and unfortunately with the ceiling as low as it is, you're not going to be able to make a leaping jump towards him in order to actually hit him. Take your time while dropping down these platforms, avoiding the flamethrower guys as well as the lasers, to try to take minimal damage during this area. At this part, just wait for the lasers to both go into the wall, then drop down and take out the one on the left, and make it up to the next platform before the one on the right even has a chance to fire again. At this point, an elevator will come up and slowly start to move us upwards towards the final boss of the game. However, along this slow-moving elevator, there's lots of different lasers hanging out on the wall, so try to do your absolute best to avoid the lasers as making your way up. There is a health item at the very top of this place right before the boss, so if you do get hit a few times, don't worry, you will be able to get some of your health back before the final boss battle. Right there on the right is our big health item to refill all our health, so no matter how much health you had taken away from you from those lasers, you'll be able to get it all back right before we get to the final boss of the game. The final boss of the game, Emperor Garuda, can be a real pain, especially with his homing in lightning bolts that he likes to shoot around him. He has actually 2 forms, one with these lightning bolts, and then he has another form after this one, which I find a little bit more easy to contend with. Unfortunately, if you're not quick about it, and with the very limited time that you're actually flashing to give you invincibility after taking a hit, you can get beat up by the lightning rather quickly. When he's up in the air, just try to be on the opposite side of the screen of him when he's moving back and forth to try to avoid as many of the lightning strikes as you possibly can. When he gets towards the ground though, it's free game on him, so just keep getting him really close and destroy him as much as possible as he makes his way back towards the ceiling. But once he's up there, try to get as far away from him as possible. Once he transforms into his final form, he has 3 different blasts that he shoots out of him. They move in the same pattern every time. The middle one will move first, and then the bottom, followed by the top. So you duck underneath the middle one, jump over the bottom one, and by the time you land, the top one should be way over your head. Get this little pattern down and just move back and forth from the left and right, delivering as many hits on Garuda as you can as possible, and avoiding almost all of his projectiles. It won't take long for him to be destroyed, and for us to get to enjoy the ending of Ninja Gaiden Shadow.